AZIR, the Emperor of Shurima, is a playable character in the game League of Legends. Among players, he is known as a very skill-based champion that often gets nerfed to oblivion because of his potential in pro play. He is this way because his set of abilities is very different from other champions, and the amount of possible plays you can do is so big that the chance that a player doesn't make the right play is higher than usual. I didn't play him a lot, but the few matches I played with him made me think, wow, those are some cool abilities. I wonder how hard it would be to remake those in the game engine. Basically, the entire playstyle depends on spawning soldiers to do your job. You spawn one soldier with W, you can make all soldiers come to the targeted position with Q, you can dash to the soldier you're aiming at with E, it also applies a shield, and with R you awake your inner Julius Caesar and call in a formation that then stays in place for a while. My main goal is to make the Shurima Shuffle combo possible by the end of this video. I don't really care about auto attacks and the passive. Not that I don't know how to make it work, but more so that the making of this video has been taking too long and I need that monthly upload. Also, I'm going to make this in 2D, just to make my life even more miserable. The first thing you have to do when making a character is movement. But since you need something to move, I decided to move on to PaintNet to get started. Personally, when I try to do pixel art, I just try to make the shape of the character with black before I start any type of color. The shape sometimes stays, sometimes doesn't, it truly depends if I feel like I want to change something. After that, I just try to pick a color that seems right and color in a part of the character. Since a single color would be kinda bland, I do add some random shading to make it look detailed and to make it look like I actually know what I'm doing, which I'm kinda clueless. Then bada bing bada boom, add the stuff and the game, and here we are. I'm very happy with how it turned out, so I went and did the animations for walking as well. This part probably took the longest time out of making of this video, but I feel like it was worth it. I don't know how to explain this process, so I just put some clips from when I was making it in the background. Oh yeah, one thing I made that I'm proud of is that I made a different sprite for if he's going right and left, so that it doesn't seem like he's juggling the staff whenever he turns. The movement is very simple. I just made a character body 2D with an animated sprite and added a script where it saves the location of your mouse, and if the location has not been reached, then the velocity of the character body will be changed so that it goes in the direction of the desired position. After that, I made a small snippet code where it decides what animation needs to be playing at the moment considering where he's going. Also, I almost forgot to mention it, but I also remade the OG cursor from League and the little point thingy that pops up when you click on the map. I don't exactly know when I made it, so I'm just kinda putting it here. I made a soldier in a separate scene, and once again, I can't make it without the sprite, so I have to draw him, so give me a minute. I made him and gave him basic idle animations. The reason I made two is because AZIR can use his soldiers for extended auto attacks if he is near enough. So one is for when he is far, and the other when he is close. There's also an animation that plays when he goes from being far to being close and from when he goes too far away, so it is basically the same animation, but it just plays in reverse for the other version. Whenever I use the W ability, it summons a new instance of the soldier scene on either the location of the mouse or at the max distance in the direction of the mouse. As said, the soldier changes his animations depending on AZIR's distance. In-game, AZIR also has like a sand line that goes from him towards all of his soldiers. I wanted to put my own spin on it, so I just made the line visible whenever he's close enough and invisible whenever he goes too far. The line works in a way that in a function that repeats forever, it checks if AZIR is close enough, and if he is, it makes the line visible and sets one of the points of the line to the same position as AZIR. Then, after a while, the soldiers despawn after a timer goes off. The soldiers just seem to be standing around, but that won't be for long, because we are making the queue work. It is pretty simple. Bro, why the fuck do I say that it's simple every fucking time? The movement of the soldiers is similar to AZIR. They just have a set velocity towards a certain desired position. But the thing is that I wanted to make them all arrive at the same time. So I made their speed depend on how far they are from the desired position. It isn't that similar to the game, but I don't care. I had way too much fun trying to see how fast I can make them go.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
In game, all the soldiers go side by side so that they don't end up in the same position. I started working on that, but I came up with a more fun way. By which I mean, I made them do a little spiral backstep, as if it was the fucking Swan Lake. When I was making this the first time, I made the speed so slow that the soldiers never exactly reached their destination, so they just kept spinning forever. I think it was pretty funny. For E, I had to make something more special. With E you dash to the soldier that is the closest to your mouse. Remembering their position wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the fact that they despawn after time. The way I tackled this problem is by having two arrays. Array is a group of the same type of variables, with one holding the positions of the soldiers and the other one holding a bunch of bools. Bool is a variable that either equals to true or false. In the game, it is very hard to have more than 3 soldiers at once because of cooldowns, so I made a hard limit so that there cannot be more than 3 soldiers. When a soldier gets spawned, he gets assigned the number of the variable in the arrays through a function that finds a usable one. And afterwards, the soldier writes down its position and sets his bool for true. The bool says that this soldier is usable, so that when he despawns, the bool is set to false and cannot be used. When you press E, the code chooses the position in the array that is the closest to the mouse and has its bool set to true. And when you let go, it makes you dash towards that soldier and applies a shield on you. And just like in game, you can dash towards moving soldiers. Now here's the part that was kind of hard to figure out, because I am in fact working on a 2D plane. In game, the blockade turns towards the mouse, no problem, because it is a 3D model that you can turn any way you want, but I can't do that. The movement of multiple soldiers at once isn't exactly a problem, but more so the visual part of it is. I started with drawing the sprite by reworking the soldier I already had so that I could give him a shield, but it just didn't feel right until it hit me. What if I made the shield a separate sprite and then I could just change its scale? For reference, when you add a picture in Word, you can stretch it, right? But you can also only stretch it in a single direction to make it look thin or thick. I used the same logic in Godot. I drew the shield, took the spear out of the soldier's hand and drew him from the back. I then made a basic script for when to show the soldier with the back, when with the front, and added a shade to the shield. Then came the time of reckoning. The shield. Through the dark magic of sinus and cosinus, I made a function that sets the needed scale for x by a given direction. Having been forced to actually use something I learned in school, I ended up with this. In this clip, you can see a soul soldier from the Shurima Shuffle that always points towards the direction of the mouse. He will be able to look in any direction that is given to him, and when he is caught, during the ability, he will be just given the direction that is needed. Now that I did that, all I had to do was to draw the highlight and make the soldiers move.
Shit.
Well, in the end I made a Chinese pool game, so... I personally think the reason that it came out this way was that I spawned the soldiers in a scene where I moved with the rotation, so they just kept going God knows where. So after a while I fixed it. And now, can I make the combo in my 2D version of the game? I had a lot more fun making this video than I thought I would have. I would work on it for longer, but I really want to have at least one upload a month. And I didn't want to cheap out on the editing. I know this is a bit different than my first video, so I won't be surprised if it doesn't get exactly any views. It's just that I got the idea of remaking something from a game by myself, and found that idea so cool that like I just couldn't let it be. I will try to make my next video about enemies in my roguelike game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the previous video I made was about a roguelike I'm working on. So if you would be interested, you can check it out on my channel. Though I personally think it's pretty shit, but you can see it for yourself. Anyways, unless I lock in, you will have to wait another month until the next upload. Sadly. Also, speaking of the roguelike, holy shit did you guys blow my expectations out of the water. I hoped for like 20 views, and I got like 600 as of making of this video. I'm very grateful, so thanks for all the comments and all the people that watched at least like the first minute of the video. If you want to know something or have like any tips on how I could improve my content, then you can write a comment. I try to read all of them, and if there's an answer needed, I try to give it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.